If a young person in your life is fascinated with dinosaurs, they'll enjoy Jurassic Smarts. The illustrated book is designed for middle grade readers, but can also be enjoyed by adults as well. Welcome to the Kids Bookshelf. I'm Dan Skinner. Stay tuned as we take a look inside Jurassic Smarts. I requested and was provided with a copy of the book for this program, but the video is not sponsored. Stephanie Warren Drimmer is a frequent contributor to National Geographic Kids magazine and a prolific author of books about science and nature for kids. She joins us to talk about her latest book for National Geographic Kids, Jurassic Smarts, a jam-packed fact book for Dinosaur Superfans. Stephanie, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, give us a quick description of what young readers will find here in Jurassic Smarts.
Yeah, so this is a smaller size, sort of backpack size book. It's about 6 by 6, so it's perfect for carrying along with you, putting in your backpack, putting in the back seat pocket in your car. And it's designed so that, if a kid might want to sit down and read it cover to cover, you can totally read it that way. But it's really designed so that each page stands alone and kids can pick it up, flip through it. There are amazing illustrations for every dinosaur in this book so they can see something that intrigues them, read a little bit more, put it down, pick it back up. It's a great kind of book for that.
So readers will learn about dinosaurs, but they'll also learn about the people who are researching and discovering dinosaur fossils.
Yes, there are many interviews with paleontologists. There's one with a scientific advisor to Jurassic Park movies. All kinds of different people, illustrators, scientific illustrators, all kinds of different people who work with dinosaurs. But it is mostly jam-packed with super cool dinosaur species.
So for what age would you recommend this book?
So this would be about middle school. It's a good way to look at it.
You've written a lot of books for young readers. What do you enjoy about writing for kids?
I think I have sort of a kid-level curiosity in the world. I love the weird and cool and gross, all things that kids love. I've been writing children's science and nature books for about 12 years now. And in that time, I've really learned that any topic is truly fascinating when you dive into it. And for dinosaurs, of course, you don't have to dive very far to find truly cool and fascinating information. I mean, they seem like fairy tale fictional monsters, but these were real animals that lived right on the planet where we live now, and in fact for much longer than we have lived. They truly ruled planet Earth in every part of the planet, coast to coast, mountains, valleys, riverbeds, you name it. Dinosaurs lived there, big ones, small ones, meat eaters, plant eaters, just countless cool kinds of dinosaurs.
I remember as a kid being fascinated with dinosaurs, and frankly, I still am. So why do you think it is that, regardless of someone's age, dinosaurs continue to be so fascinating?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you for sure. I have some ideas. I think that, modern humans, we've lived on this planet for about 200,000 years. That seems like a long time. We've gone from living in caves to building skyscrapers. But dinosaurs lived for 160 million years. So that's 800 times longer than we have lived on this planet so far. So, we sort of tend to think of them as like this evolutionary blip. Oh, they were here and then they died off. But that's just totally wrong. I mean, we're the blip. Dinosaurs, they ruled the planet for just an incalculably long time, 160 million years. It's impossible to wrap your head around, at least for me. And in that time, now we know that they lived in every part of planet Earth. So where you're walking your kid to the bus stop, where you're going to work, dinosaurs once lived there. And I think that idea that they inhabited this planet that we think of as ours is just something that will never stop being cool and fascinating.
We've had fossils of dinosaurs for many years, so what's changed? I mean, how do we now know what their skin was like and what their colorations may have been?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And we didn't know for a long time. So pretty much everything that I learned when I was a kid that was in my textbooks about dinosaurs, we now know is wrong. And one of the major things is what they look like in terms of color. So we actually do have some fossilized dinosaur skin. And we also now have fossilized dinosaur feathers. We know that many, if not most, dinosaurs actually had feathers. And using electron microscopes, scientists are able to look inside those fossils and actually zoom in on little pigment sacs that would have colored those feathers and discover what colors dinosaurs really were. Textbooks always show dinosaurs as sort of these dull earth tones, brown and gray and green. And that was true for some dinosaurs, but we also know that there were many dinosaurs that were brightly colored. I'm thinking of a particular dinosaur named Incornus. That was a flying feathered dinosaur that had black and white striped wings and a bright red mohawk on top of its head. That is something that is totally different than what I learned about dinosaurs, and something that's really cool to think about dinosaurs being colorful.
You mentioned earlier that there are a lot of things that we were taught about dinosaurs years ago that have proven to be wrong. Can you give us some examples of that?
Absolutely. So, like we just said, they were feathered, most of them, many of them. They were colorful, which they might have used their colorful feathers for mating displays, which seems strange. But we now know also that modern birds are dinosaurs. They are the only group of dinosaurs that survived the extinction. And we've all seen those nature videos of birds, or, you've seen in your backyard of birds, flapping their tail feathers, flapping their wings, showing off their head plumage to attract mates. It's very likely dinosaurs use their own plumage and colors for the same reason. Let's see, we were taught, that dinosaurs were sort of these dim-witted, lumbering, cold-blooded animals, bloodthirsty, uncaring. Well, that's not true. When a dinosaur named Oviraptor was discovered, it was found near a nest of the eggs of another dinosaur, Protoceratops. So scientists said, well, naturally, Oviraptor was in the process of stealing eggs when it was fossilized. Now we know, so Oviraptor actually means egg thief. Now we know that that is not true because subsequently we have discovered an Oviraptor fossil on a nest of its own eggs. It died in the process, there was a landslide or whatever, killed it suddenly. And in order to fossilize it, it was in the process of trying to protect its own nest. And we have found other dinosaurs that raised their young in colonies together of dozens or maybe hundreds of dinosaurs all together, where they cared for not only their eggs, but also juvenile dinosaurs. So the idea that dinosaurs could be carrying parents is, totally opposite from what I was taught, what we thought we knew. And, also the fact that some dinosaurs lived in these big groups indicated that they had social hierarchies. For an animal to live in a big group, it has to communicate, it has to kind of work out a rank, pecking order, and that requires a lot of intelligence. There is evidence now that even dinosaurs like T-Rex may have been a pack hunter, like a modern wolf. So if one giant ferocious predator was not enough to scare you, now it's very possible that they hunted in packs, which is not what we were taught. Also requires intelligence, planning, forethought, all things we didn't know. We were taught that dinosaurs were cold-blooded. And now that's probably not true. For something to be cold-blooded, it relies on the heat of the sun to warm its body, which means that dinosaurs could not have survived in cold areas. You don't find snakes and lizards in polar areas. Well, a few years ago, scientists discovered the fossilized feather of a feathered dinosaur in Australia, which at the time it lived, because the continents have moved over time, Australia was very close to Antarctica. It was a polar area. So now we know that dinosaurs lived in cold places, perhaps even places that were icy and snowy. You name it. Basically, everything we thought was true about dinosaurs has been shaken up in some way, which makes it really fun to learn about.
As you point out in the book, Jurassic Smarts, the T-Rex that has been popularized in movies isn't really representative of what we now know about that dinosaur. For example, paleontologists now believe that the T-Rex couldn't run as fast as previously thought.
Yeah. So one fun thing about doing books like this is I get to call up very smart people and ask them silly questions. So I there's a famous scene in a particular dinosaur movie. I'm sure everyone has seen it, where a T-Rex runs down a Jeep and is able to overtake it. So I called up Dr. Steve Brusati, who's a world-renowned paleontologist, and I said, Steve, could that have happened? Is that scene in Jurassic Park real? Could it have been real? I mean, obviously humans and dinosaurs did not coexist, but could a T-Rex have run fast enough to run down a Jeep? Turns out, no, way off. We think the top speed of T-Rex was about 12 miles an hour. So you would not have had to be an Olympic sprinter to outrun one. A frightened human, any of us could probably have outrun a T-Rex. However, like we were talking about, it's likely that they hunted in packs. So there's a difference between outrunning one kind of slower moving, hungry predator and hunting and running away from a pack of them. It's possible they could have outsmarted you.
When we think about dinosaurs, we often think of the big dinosaurs like the T-Rex, but as you discuss in the book, there are many small dinosaurs as well.
Absolutely. And the smaller dinosaurs were super cool and often go overlooked. We've talked about how dinosaurs lived from coast to coast in all environments, and they were all sizes too. And that's to take advantage of food sources, right? So there were dinosaurs like T-Rex that survived by eating other large dinosaurs. There were the really big plant eaters, like Argentinosaurus, Brontosaurus, that survived by eating a ton of plants. And there were also very small dinosaurs. So we can't say for sure what the smallest dinosaur was because new fossils are always being discovered. But one of them was Microraptor. This was a dinosaur about the size of a crow. It also had sort of blue-black feathers like a crow does. And it hunted by sort of like a flying squirrel. So it didn't fly, but it would glide through forests from treetop to treetop on the hunt for probably lizards and small mammals. And it didn't glide on two wings. It had four wings, which is very strange and weird because we have nothing like that alive today. So yeah, all kinds of cool smaller dinosaurs that go overlooked.
Stephanie, we've talked about dinosaurs on land and in the sky, but the book also covers dinosaurs in the water.
Yes. So there is a dinosaur called Spinosaurus that was an enormous predator on the level of T-Rex that probably hunted sort of along shorelines. Scientists didn't know for a long time that it could have swam, but they finally found a Spinosaurus tail. And they thought it would look kind of similar to a T-Rex tail, but it was actually like a dead ringer for a crocodile or alligator tail, which indicates that it very likely swam and hunted, fish in the water or maybe small dinosaurs along shore banks, that kind of thing. And there were also a ton of prehistoric ocean animals that were not dinosaurs, but that lived alongside dinosaurs. And if anyone wants to do a book on that, give me a call because there were some extremely cool, ferocious, incredible predators that lived in the oceans during the time of dinosaurs. If you had gone back to the time of dinosaurs, you would not have wanted to go for a swim because the ocean was a dangerous place.
Good to know. You touched on this before, but technology has changed over the years, and that's part of the reason we're learning that much of what we thought we knew is wrong. So tell us more about how new technology is helping scientists find and analyze dinosaur fossils.
Yeah, so we talked about electron microscopes, which are able to look at pigments and figure out what color dinosaurs were. There's also radar technology that makes it easier to kind of look under the ground. You're not just kind of digging randomly anymore. You're able to look underground and get a better sense of where to dig for dinosaurs. So there are all kinds of new discoveries being made all over the world. Mongolia is one particular hotspot where a ton of dinosaurs are being found now. And the more new technology we get, the more discoveries we're going to keep unearthing about dinosaurs. It's not a field that's extinct, even though the dinosaurs are.
I want to come back to something you said before because it fascinates me. You said that birds are descendants of dinosaurs. So I guess technically we're still living in the age of dinosaurs.
Absolutely. And that's one of my favorite things to tell people because it surprises people. Yeah, birds, flying dinosaurs evolved during dinosaur times. And they were the only group of dinosaurs that did not go extinct when the city-sized asteroid struck Earth about 66 million years ago. And it's likely for a number of reasons, but mainly because they could fly. They could fly away from devastated areas. They had varied diets. They could look for new food sources, and that helped them survive. And so, yeah, I mean, we think the dinosaurs are long gone, but dinosaurs are still very much with us in the form of birds, and you probably see them, if not every day, at least often.
To learn more, the book from National Geographic Kids is Jurassic Smarts, a jam-packed fact book for Dinosaur Superfans by Stephanie Warren Drimmer and Jen Agresta. Stephanie, thank you very much for talking with me.
Thanks for your time.
If you'd like to get a copy of Jurassic Smarts, I've placed a link for you in the description below. Well, thank you for watching this edition of The Kids Bookshelf. If you'd like to see more videos about children's books and their authors, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell to be notified about future programs. I'm Dan Skenner. Until next time, keep sharing the gift of reading.